Hi everyone, welcome to the Knitting Turnpike. Welcome to the Knitting Turnpike. My name is Gina Pike. I am so happy that you're here today. Today I'm going to be giving you a project update. This is a project that I've been working on for all year since January. Yes, I'm talking about the Japanese lace sampler scarf. And I've been talking about this since January, like I said. This pattern is by Toni L. Lorenz. I'll link all the information to the pattern down in the description box below. She has based her design on all of these books by Hitomi Shida. There's the Japanese Knitting Stitches Bible. There is this Stitch Bible. And then there's a new book out, Japanese Lace Stitches. Now, I think the pattern is based mainly on these two books, but this is a brand new book that I wanted to mention as well. So, these are just gorgeous, gorgeous stitch patterns, and I'm going to show you the ones that are used for this month. Now, I don't know how I got so far behind, but I think I just showed you guys May, so I'm behind. I just finished June. This is July. This is July 7th. So I've got to do June and July. So I'm going to do June. I'm also behind on the International Lace Scarf Project for June and July. So I'm going to do June for both of those here at the beginning of July. And then I'll do July more towards the end and try to get caught up. But this is the scarf project so far. As you can see, I'm trying to show it all in the frame. It's starting to get really long. And when I get up close, you can see all the details. I do have other videos explaining each month. So that was January and February, and I think that's part of March. Yeah, oh no, that's January, that's February. That's March and April. Hold on, I'll put it back up. I just couldn't see my little marker. And then May, and now this is what we're going to be talking about is June. I will show this up close, but this is what the June looks like from the marker up. That was all for this month. Now all of these stitches are not new stitches. This pattern is a charted pattern. It looks like, I'm not going to show you the pattern, it looks like this. If you are not someone who knits using charts, it's a little more complicated than most because on the wrong side rows you have to really evaluate the stitches, and sometimes you have to do the opposite. You have to look at the legend, but it's a legend. Anybody can do this. You just have to take it one stitch at a time. But the stitch patterns, there are 2 pages of stitch definitions. These are all the different stitches that are being used in this scarf. I think at the end of this video, I will show you the stitches that are used just in this month's scarf. They are not new for this month, but then as I started getting this project wrapped up, I will do a tutorial for all of this so you guys can evaluate for yourself if this is something you want to knit. Now, I really do believe in my heart these stitches are not that hard. They look complicated, they look scary because again there's 2 pages worth of stitch definitions, but if you just take it stitch by stitch, piece by piece, it's not hard. You can do this. This is just like the other stuff that you guys knit every day, so it just looks different. Again, this is the stuff for May, and I want to show you close up what it looks like. This yarn is Manas del Uruguay Fino yarn. I'm going to be giving away some of this yarn in my next giveaway and cleaning out my yarn room in a different color. But this yarn has amazing stitch definition. It's a 70% extra fine merino wool and silk, 30% silk. Really awesome. I've used this for a lot of different projects. But as you can see, when you do these special stitches, it's amazing. Now this This is something that's been coming up along the side all along. This is inspired by BK 250. I'm sorry, BK 260 195, and it's just been carried up along the side. This is staying the same. This little edging design, it's the same all the way throughout. This is BK 260 195. My mistake. I'll show a picture of that here, and then I'll show this design so you guys can compare and see they're not the same. She drew from inspiration from the BK 260 195. Now the rest of this design, all the rest of this design for May was drawn from inspiration from BK, which is book 250, pattern number 9. And I'll show that here slowly. So then I'll show this so you guys can see the similarities where she kind of drew her inspiration from. This is starting again here where this little marker is, and then going up. And look at these cables. Now this is just a simple mock cable design where you take the third stitch over the first 2 and then create 3 stitches out of 2 stitches, which is just a knit yarn over knit. Again, I'm going to show a few stitches at the end of this video. If you aren't interested in that, just stop watching the video when I get to the stitches part. But if you are, I'm hoping that showing some of these stitches that are in this will inspire you to maybe try it, because I do not think these are hard. If I've only been knitting 6 years, so again, if I can do this, anybody can do this. I truly believe this. I love how February, there's actually a heart in the design. I see how there's a heart right there with a big old cable in it. Maybe I should just show it this way. Whoop. There we go. All right, let me just go down so you guys can see it. But I just love this scarf. I wish I would have made it double width. I know some people in Ravelry are. Look at how in March she brought in the leaves, kind of like for spring. All these beautiful cables. Let me hold it a little bit straighter. It's just so cabled and intricate. It is fun. I will say it's not the easiest. Now here you can see those wrap stitches. Like here where you had to take 7 stitches and hold it on a cable needle and wrap it twice and then put them back and do different types of knitting through it. And then you have bobble stitches here. And then here we are to June. And I just love it. I can't believe this is halfway done. I mean, and actually I've got July's already, so I'm just like getting sad that I'm getting close to being finished. Well, halfway finished, but still. It's a nice length, so, and I think it's would be beautiful for a man or a woman. You know, it's very unisex, so I think it would be a great gift for a man or a woman, and certainly fun to make. This is my first time knitting Japanese lace, and I've thoroughly enjoyed it. Now, if you guys are interested in learning more about each one of the individual sections, like January, February, March, I'll put a link to those videos in the description box below. And that would make my day if you go watch those videos and just get a little bit more for each different month. This is just for June, and we'll go from there. So now I think I'm to the part where I'm going to talk about the stitches, and the stitches used in this month are stitches used previous months, but there were some cable stitches. There's a knot stitch. Alright, for this next stitch, this is called the knot stitch. It's this one. It looks like this. You're going to do a knit, yarn over knit, 3 stitches. I'm going to show you how to do this stitch right now. I just wanted you to see what it's called, because I think if I say it, my southern accent might make it confusing, and I want it to be clear as to what I'm saying. Alright, for this stitch, you're going to, it's going to involve 3 stitches. And what you're going to do is you're going to take, it's going to take 3 stitches. So you can take the 3rd stitch over the first 2 stitches. and off the needle like that. So you have 2 stitches left, and in those 2 stitches you're going to knit, yarn over, knit, and that's what it looks like. And essentially you've taken 3 stitches and ending up with 3 stitches, and that's what it looks like. Which is used for creating this right here is that knot stitch. You take the 3rd stitch over and off the needle, over 2 stitches, and then you do a knit, yarn over, knit. It creates that lovely mock cable with an opening right there. And as you can see in this design, there are stitches that will lean to the left, there are stitches that will lean to the right, and a lot of those are made from cable stitches. And they're simple cables. These are just 2-stitch cables, so you don't even need a cable needle. You can, you know, hold the stitch back or hold it to the front and move the other stitch around on your needle. So you don't really need the cable needle for these. Now there is one stitch that's a 3-stitch cable that is a little more complicated. I did use cable needle for that. Then there's a cable 1BP 1F, which basically is a right leaning cable stitch. I'm doing the next stitch for this Japanese sampler scarf. I'm going to be doing this stitch here, this cable 1BP 1F, and it looks like this on the chart. It's a dot and an F, and this is a cable stitch, so I'm going to use a cable needle. And let's go ahead. What you do with this stitch is you put the first stitch on your cable needle, and in this instance you hold it in the back of your work, so like this, to the back, and then you knit 1, and then you purl 1 from your cable needle. That, and that's just what it looks like. It just orients it a little bit differently. That's what it's going to look like. Twist the stitch, and it leans to the right as well, and that's why it had the right 2 stitches in the description of that. But you have a cable 1F BP, which is a left leaning cable involving 2 stitches. The stitch I'm going to do for this Japanese sampler scarf is this stitch here. It's on the chart, it's an F dot, it's pink, it's a cable 1F1 BP. It says left here, so it's going to lean to the left, and the total stitches is 2. I'm still going to use a cable needle, even though it's with only involves 2 stitches. There are ways you can do cable knitting without a cable needle, especially when it's just 2 stitches, and I'll do a video on that sometime. But let's go ahead and do this stitch. You're going to place the first stitch on a cable needle, hold it into the front like that, and you're going to purl 1, whoops, and then you're going to knit 1 from the cable needle. And I usually, when I have to do that, I just put it on my needle like that after I've already twisted the stitches, and then just knit 1. And see how the left needle, the one you hold to the front, is in front of the one, and it leans to the left. There is the cable 1BP 1FL, which is a right leaning cable involving 2 stitches. Alright, the next stitch we're going to look at is this stitch here. This is a cable 1BP 1FL. It's a right leaning stitch. 2 stitches are involved in this. So get your cable needle, put the stitch on it, hold it to the back, you're going to knit the stitch through the back loop. So you knit it through the back loop, like that. And then you're going to purl the stitch from the cable needle. It's going to be right leaning with the other stitch in front, like this is what it looks like. See how your stitches are twisted. There's the cable 1FL, 1BP, which is a left leaning cable involving 2 stitches. Next stitch we're going to do is this stitch here. It's an L dot. It's a cable 1FL, 1BP, left leaning stitch involving 2 stitches. So to do this stitch, you're going to put the first stitch on the cable needle, hold it to the front, purl the first stitch, and then knit the next stitch through the back loop. So you're going to purl this stitch, and then the stitch that's on your cable needle, knit it through the back loop, and it's going to be a left leaning stitch like that, like that. That's what it looks like. And thank you for letting me share those stitches. Again, I show you those hopefully to inspire you and show you they're not hard. They're simple cable stitches, and you just do what the designer tells you to do, and that's how this whole pattern is. It may be charted, but one thing you can always do with charted patterns is you can write the text out if that's easier for you to follow instead of, you know, following the chart. So thank you so much for letting me share the Japanese lace sampler scarf for June. I'm looking forward to getting caught up and getting into July. If you are new here and this is your first time watching one of my videos, I love talking about knitting. I love talking about crochet a little bit. I'm not such a great crocheter, but I am trying to dust off the cobwebs of my brain. Talk about yarn and projects, and you guys share your projects with me. I share my projects with you. We just share our fiber arts with each other, and we would love to have you join us. If you are you know, would like to join us, we'd love to have you be a part of our family. So hit that subscribe button and join us and let us get to know you. For those of you who have been here with me all the time, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. You are my family. You mean the world to me, and I appreciate each and every one of you. So I hope you all have a wonderful day. Thank you for watching this video and letting me share this project with you month by month. And I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope I inspire you maybe to pick up and look at maybe knitting some Japanese lace. Have a wonderful day. Take care, and I'll see you all very, very soon.